Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to explain what you need to do in order to carry games in World of Tanks. If you're interested in more reviews and gameplay, go to YouTube and search for World of Tanks with Bruce to get all of my videos, or click on the subscribe button. And now let's go. World of Tanks is a multiplayer game in which you are part of a team. Hence, despite your performance, there will be games which you lose just because of the poor performance of your team. There are also games which you will win no matter how bad you perform. In general, you win 40% of the battles and you lose 40% of the battles without you doing anything. However, there are about 20% of the games in which it depends on you whether your team wins or not. Good players carry those games and thus have a decent overall win rate. In this game, I will show you what you have to do in order to carry games and give you 10 golden tips so that you can become an above average World of Tanks player, at least when it comes to win rate. Alright, here we are in the first game with the AMX 12T and Tier 6 matchup. We're spawning on Province, and the first thing I want to basically teach you is, if you want to carry games, you need to do 3 things in general, and I will go into detail more in this video. So the first thing is you need to preserve your options to the end of the game, and once again I will come to what this means later on in the game. If you throw away your tank at the beginning of the game, then obviously you will not be able to carry games at the end of the game, because you will be too soon back into the garage, into your garage. So the second thing is, at a certain point you have to understand what is going on, and you have to recognize the point in time where you have finally full situational awareness, and afterwards you have to develop a plan for the end of the game. And then in the end of the game you have to execute this game plan and finally then win a 1v1 or maybe sometimes a 1v many situation. So those are the 3 basic steps, and now I want to go into detail and tell you what this exactly means. And therefore I want to present 10 tips which you should apply so that you are able to carry games in World of Tanks. So what is the first tip? The first tip is, don't bring yourself in a 1v many situation at the beginning of the game. Now this sounds yeah, as a very easy tip, but it is actually super important. Now what I mean is, do not rush to an important position because you think it is imperative to win this position in order to win the game. Now don't get me wrong, I am just saying calculate the risk of a first move and make sure you do not risk too much, so not to get taken out at the beginning of the game. So often I see players trying to rush into a position, but they do not calculate the risk. They do not look at the enemy team composition. So for example, how many light tanks, how many fast light tanks are in the enemy team, and what is the firepower of those enemy tanks, and will I get taken out, or how is the chance that I will get taken out if I rush into a position, which I think is super important. So this is my tip number 1, because you can, as I said, only carry games if you manage to stay alive at the end of the game. So that is very important. Now on the other hand, and that is tip number 2, of course you should play the important position, and you see me do this right here in my opinion on Province, and I made a dedicated map tutorial about this map. You should always go to the other side of the map, because it is it gives you more options, and you can set yourself up in a position of advantage compared to the enemy forces. So try to help your team to win the strategic map position. Once the enemy team has reached control over the strategic position, it is super difficult to win a game, and you will most likely not be able to carry a game, because if your team gets rushed, then you find yourself in a 1v many situation, and most often this is not the situation in which you can decide games. So once again, I just want to make sure and point out, yes, try to win the important position. Try to help your team to win the important position. So have map understanding, know where the important position is, but then do not play too risky at the beginning of the game and rather try to win the important position later on in the game. Alright, so tip number 3 is try to save your HP until the end of the game. If you want to carry a game, you need HP that you can consciously trade at the end of the game in order to win a 1v1 or even a 1v many situation. If you have lost most portion of your AP or too many HP at the beginning of the game, then you will simply not be able to carry games. So this is super important, and it kind of brings me back to my tip number 1. So all in all, you have to make sure that you do not lose too many HP at the beginning of the game. And that is exactly what I want to do here. Okay, now I am spotted, so I need to reverse and fall back. Hopefully I do not get shot from the other side. So far the game is still relatively close, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so let's see how it goes, and now I want to make some shots onto the adversary tanks, 6 to 8, and looks like the AMX-12T in our team is playing super aggressively, and he will soon get taken out of the game, which is actually pretty bad. Now, if you take a look at the map, you see that I'm the only tank playing on this side, but in my opinion, that is not too much of a problem. So, what is the next tip that I have for you? Well, tip number 4 is have minimap awareness and position yourself so that you can support your team where it is needed. And you will not be able to carry a game if you don't cross-check the minimap and build overall situational awareness of what is going on in the battle. So you always have to take a look onto the minimap, and actually I am playing with the minimap in a relatively... I select the minimap to be relatively huge, and that is not without a reason. Now, tip number 5 is know and use the game mechanics to your advantage. For example, use the bush mechanic in order to not get spotted when you shoot. So, for example, you saw me shooting onto the VK3001P, the German, the VK3601H, the German heavy tank. And now I'm spotted, so I have to leave in order to not get shot. And but because I was behind a bush, and because there was another bush, in this case a tree behind me and this adversary tank, we had a double bush situation, and so I could be relatively sure that I would not get spotted once I open fire. And so in another situation, you can simply, if there's not 2 bushes between you and an opposing tank, but only 1 bush, then you can fall back so that the bush is not transparent anymore, and then you will also not get spotted once you shoot. So basically what I want to say is use the game mechanics, understand and use the game mechanics in order to preserve HP until the end of the game. Too many players wonder why they, for example, don't hit, hit other tanks, but they never reduce the speed prior taking a shot. Now, what I do is, if I am about to shoot onto another tank, I always reduce my speed and give my reticle, or my aiming reticle, time to aim in, so that when I finally move out of cover, then my aim time is relatively slow until I'm fully aimed in, and then I want to shoot onto my opposing tanks with being fully aimed in. And this is how I hit my shots compared to a lot of other players. Alright, so those tips were kind of the tips that you need to adhere to in order to basically shape the game, and in order to be prepared for the end game. So tip number 6 that I have is, and basically you see this game basically developing into a situation which is disadvantageous, if you ask me. So in an unfavorable situation, you should try to position yourself on a map position that gives you an advantage so that you can maximize the strength of your tank. What do I mean with this? Well, for example, if you play a hull down heavy tank, you want to fall back to a position where adversaries cannot push you out easily and where you can play hull down. So best would be a hull down position behind an open field in this case. In a light tank, this would be, for example, a position from which you can outspot adversaries and fall back into cover easily. And so now I am basically behind this house, waiting until I'm not spotted anymore. Once again, understand the game mechanics. And now I want to fall back to the C1 position, because this is a position of advantage that I can use now in a disadvantageous situation. Alright, so let's see how it goes. Now tip number 7 is recognize the time where you have full situational awareness on every enemy tank on the battlefield. At a certain time this will happen, and if you recognize this situation, you can develop a game plan on which tank to take out next. And now this situation has finally come. So okay, we know the artillery just took a shot, so we know that the artillery is still at the enemy base position. We know that the VK3001P is still on our side, and we know that the Hellcat is on the other side. And so basically now we have full situational awareness. There he is. Okay, let's see. And so can we get another shot? We are spotted, but he now needs to move forward. Nice. And so we can take 2 shots and we can evade his other shot. Okay, now can I get... Okay, that was basically unfortunate, but now as he has shot, this gives me the time to take him out, and I evade the enemy artillery. So yeah, in this situation then you have to apply basically tip number 8, and this is develop a line of action. Try to take out the opposing tanks one by one. You want to avoid a 1v-many situation as best as you can, and on the other hand find and destroy tanks which are on their own. This way you might bring yourself in a 1v1 situation at the end of the game, and this you increase the chances of winning the game. Now we have basically a 2v1 situation now, and I want to first of all take out the enemy artilleries, because then I am in a 1v1 situation, or maybe a 2v1 situation against the enemy Hellcat, and I will not get taken out by a very unfortunate opposing artillery threat. So this is what I want to do, and then after I have taken out the artilleries, I will then concentrate on the Hellcat. So first artillery is taken out. We are stunned by our own artillery, which is very unfortunate, but nothing what we can do. I want to not use my my consumable, because I will need it against the Hellcat. And now I want to spot the enemy artillery. Looks like it has moved away. So let's see how it goes. Our enemy, our WoT is following up, is pushing forward, which is good. And there's the artillery. So I need to make sure that he doesn't take a shot onto me. Nice, he's taken a shot, so I can take this artillery piece out. I simply want to not lose any HP with getting rammed. And now, okay, I can take out this tank. I have to first of all reload. Okay, nice. Our artillery is finishing off. Nice. And so now in this situation, this is basically then the end of the game. So we are in a 1v1 situation. Fortunately, we have artillery support. So what do we have to do? Tip number 9 is try to surprise your opponents and don't attack from the most obvious line of attack. In this situation, unfortunately, that is not an option for me, because there's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and I certainly do want to win this game. So I need to hurry up, and I need to... Yeah, and I'm spotted because the enemy Hellcat player is actually pretty good, and now I can use this bush here to get the first spot advantage. Now obviously if the enemy player is good, then he will know this, and he will maybe blind fire this bush, and so I want to surprise him by moving up to this position here. But unfortunately he's a very good player. Okay, he's a very good player. He knew this, and so he closed the distance, and so I want to now, okay, now I need to surprise him. So if he will come around the corner, then I will take him out. But unfortunately, I do not have the gun depression. That is very unfortunate. Now I need to turn around my tank because I think the gun depression is better. Plus I have artillery support. Yep. So if maybe I hide here, and with the help of my artillery, I think I have to move down slowly, so not to throw away my... Okay. Well, here it is. Tip number 10. Don't be surprised. Don't be upset if you don't make it. You need luck to carry games, and sometimes you just have bad luck, like in this situation, and it doesn't work out. That is not a problem. That's just how World of Tanks is. And so tip number 10 is, yeah, don't be upset if it doesn't work. Just try to apply my 10 or actually 9 tips, and sooner or later you will end up in a situation in which you will be able to carry a game. Alright, second game. This time we are playing in the T-67, the American Tier 5 tank destroyer. And so let's see how it goes. So we are in a Tier 6 matchup, so we are low tier, or basically I should say mid tier, because we are in a Tier 4 till Tier 6 match. And so now I want to show you how you can carry a game. And now basically what we want to do is we want to apply all those tips that I have mentioned in the previous game. So first of all, we do not want to bring ourselves in a 1v many situation at the beginning of the game, and we do not want to throw away our tank. This is why I do not want to aggressively push the middle, because my firepower is certainly not enough in order to cope with, let's say, 1 or 2 or maybe 3 adversary tanks, which will maybe also have the idea to push the middle. So instead, let's position ourselves here and let's get some first damage onto the adversary tank, which is trying to push the middle. So see how it goes. Our team is able to take this tank out, which is fine. And now basically on this map, I do not believe that there is one super important strategic position. So as long as we are supporting our team, we should be good to go. So tip number 2 is not basically a factor in this game. Now obviously we want to save our HP until the end of the game, especially in a tank in which we only have 470 HP. And now I think it is time to support our team and to help our team to win the middle. Because if we have won the middle, then we can spot the enemy base, and I think this will lead to winning the game. Unfortunately, we are spotted. So let's see. Okay, if the tank destroyer moves out of cover, I think we can take a shot. So let's... okay, that was... should have fallen back earlier. Okay, and don't take a shot. Maybe he's not... oh, okay, he is paying attention. Okay, so now we are losing HP and I should fall back because once again, I want to save as many of my HP as I can until the end of the game. So let's see, can we get a shot onto the enemy looks? Yes, looks like. Nice. Yeah, the rate of fire is still pretty awesome on this tank. It received quite a significant nerf a couple of months ago, but it's still one of the best tier 5 tanks if you ask me. Okay, nice. Some more shots onto the enemy advancing tanks. Fortunately, we bounce. And now it is time for tip number 4. If you ask me, we need to have minimap awareness. And as you can see, the enemy forces are pushing the heavy flank, the 1 and 2 lane. And so we need to reposition ourselves into a situation so that we can basically hold up the enemy advance. And the best thing I can do is to move into the middle, because this position gives me not only cover but also the first spot advantage, because there are some sweet nice bushes behind which I can hide myself. And now I only need to use game mechanics in order to make sure that I do not get spotted right from the first shot that I take. And So I mean, yep, I was talking about this position here. So as soon as the enemy tanks will be advancing, and now there are some nice bushes. So for example, if I take a shot right here, then I make damage, but I will not get spotted. And once again, another shot, and I do not get spotted because there are two, basically two bushes between me and the adversary tank. Now, unfortunately, now I get spotted, but I can fall back behind cover. So once again, I'm using game mechanics in order to maximize, I would say, my effectiveness. And see how it goes. Here go. The enemy tank is looking towards me, but I can fall back into cover before he is able to take a shot. And so we already made 1250 damage in a tier 5 tank, which is right now an excellent result. So let's see, can we get some more shots? Now, once again, in an unfavorable situation, you have to, okay, take a look at the minimap and see what's going on. The Matilda is pushing towards our position, and if you know the tanks, if you know something about the armor profile of the tanks, you know that the Matilda has quite a superior armor. It is quite heavily armored, and so I want to fall back and evade the 1v1 situation against the Matilda right now, because after all, I need my HP until, or basically for the end of the game, in which I want to win a 1v1 or 1v many situation. So I rather want to fall back and circumnavigate the Matilda and try to make some more damage, maybe on this tank here, on the Stuck 3. Here you go, I can take out the Cruiser 4. And so now I think it is once again time to use the mobility and to help my team. The Matilda has already been taken out of the game. And so, yeah, so now it is 10 to 11. And now it is time for tip number 7. And that is to recognize when the time has come until we, or in which we have full SA. Now, I want to take out the KV2. And I know that he has problems turning his turret. And then his aim time is also super lackluster. So nice, we can take him out. And so the heavy tank number 6 is maybe still on the heavy flank. The only thing which is possible that, okay, now I take, okay. So let me pause right here. So the heavy tank number 6 is on the heavy flank. Maybe he has fallen back, maybe he's advancing, but he's certainly still on the heavy flank. So somewhere on the 1 or 2 lane. Now we just received a shot from the Marder 38T, so that gives us the information that he is still in the middle. So maybe where I just went prior leaving due to the Matilda. The Stritzwagen is actually currently spotted, so he's also in the middle. And then chances are that the Stuck 3G is still in the enemy base position. So this is now the time where we gathered full situational awareness on all enemy forces, and so now it is time to develop a game plan and see what we can do. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take out the Stritzwagen, see how it goes. So first shot, nice, and now maybe, yeah, okay, that is super unfortunate. He's now still alive with 1 single HP, but he's falling back. So now I want to pretend that I'm moving back into the other direction. Now do not want to do the mistake to get another shot from the Marder 38T. Now I want to push out the heavy tank number 6. Chances are that he has fallen back because I would have seen him if he had attacked our base position. But I want to now basically take out the heavy tank number 6, then fall into the B3 position, or yeah, B3 position, in order to help the VK30-01P to clear off the enemy tanks at the enemy base, and then maybe take out the remaining Stritzwagen 74 in the middle of the game, and also the Marder 38T. Okay, so let's see how it goes. The heavy tank number 6 has been spotted in the enemy base, so he has fallen back all the way till the enemy base, but he has now been taken out by the VK30-01P, which is nice. He's doing an excellent job, and there you go. Okay, Looks like the Marder 38T, okay, he's just shot, so that gives me the time of giving him 1 or maybe 2 shots in reverse. Okay, I take a shot, which is fine, because now I want to consciously trade my HP in order to take out this tank. And so now I'm once again applying game mechanics. It takes me about 10 seconds until I'm not spotted anymore. I want to wait this 10 seconds until I fall into this bush. Now I want to come to a standstill in order to activate my binos again. And so, okay, I'm not spotting any tank. Okay. Okay, I get spotted, so chances are that the Stuck 3G is either in the, besides the house, in the B4, B5 position, or he is in the A5 position, because there are some bushes where you can hide in a tank destroyer. So, but no matter where he is, my game plan is now to flank the Stritzwagen 74 in the middle of the map and to fall into his rear to take him out. And then once we've taken out the Stritzwagen 74, we will have the chance to finally take out the Stuck 3. So this is my plan. And yeah, once again, or just as I said in the first game, you see me making a game plan. And my plan is to take out one tank after another in order to avoid a 1v many situation. And so that's my game plan, and hopefully it works out. So let's see how it goes. The Stritzwagen 74, which is, by the way, a pretty decent tank, is spotted, and so we can hopefully simply take him out. Now, once again, using game mechanics and slowing down my tank until just before I want to take a shot. Now, this tank is taken out, and okay, so let's move into the base. Okay, there is the Stuck 3 is here now. Okay, I need to, and okay, he crashes. Okay, that was actually a lucky end, but as I told you in the first game, obviously if you want to be able to carry a game, then you have to have luck at a, here and then. And so this time we were lucky, and we could actually, alongside with the VK3001P, which did an excellent job, carry this game. Alright, last game, and this time we are once again playing in the AMX-12T. But this time we are in a low tier situation because we are spawning in a tier 7 matchup. So let's see how it goes. So first of all, as I told you in the previous games, I do not want to bring myself in a 1v many situation at the beginning of the game. And this is why I'm certainly not rushing the middle of the game, especially as I am a low tier tank. And there are 3 light tanks, so chances are that all 3 enemy light tanks will be rushing the middle. And so I certainly do not want to do this. Now I'm nonetheless proceeding to the middle, but I will play cautiously and make sure that I do not get shots from the adversary tanks. So let's see how it goes. Okay. So far no enemy tank. Here we go. And okay. There's the BZ of the enemy team playing somewhat hull down, so I will have no chance of, or not no chance is actually wrong, but I will have a tough time of penetrating his turret, and so I will simply fall back. Now, in my opinion, and that actually brings me to tip number 2, which was playing the port position. On this map, the 1 and 2 lane where the setter is playing is actually not too important if you ask me, and so I rather want to see whether I can support my team on the right hand side of the map. So let's see how this goes. All in all, as you know, I want to certainly preserve my HP. This is why I want to be super cautiously right here. Okay, now I'm spotted. Plus I have a problem with the gun elevation, which is a problem in general if you are playing a tank with an oscillating turret like the AMX-12T. So once again, I am falling back out of this situation. Now, I cannot overstress this. I do not want to lose HP because I think I will need it at the end of the game. So now where can I position myself so that I can finally support my team? Well, certainly not here, because this is a brawling area and I'm not a heavy tank, so I cannot brawl, but I can. But here's another chance for me. The enemy forces are pushing aggressively, and I want to. Okay, I cannot go on top of the hill like this. I think you can only do this with the wheeled light tank. But looks like the enemy tanks are pushing aggressively, and so maybe from here I can support the VZ-44-1 and get one or another shot onto the enemy forces. So let's see how it goes. Okay, first one is not a hit. Is he looking towards me? Maybe. Okay, finally first hit, and okay, 1 out of 4 is actually not very decent. But that's not a problem at all. Now we want to maintain in this position. Now as the VZ-44-1 has been taken out, we are the tank that can actually spot the opposing forces, so we are in a pretty important position. And here we go. And now it's simply time to apply the game mechanics correctly and not be exposed too much, at least once we are spotted. So we have to fall back into cover, make sure that we are not spotted, and then we can move out and then outspot the adversary tanks and then take one or another tank out. Okay, that was bad aiming. And can I take out this tank? Yes, and now I need to fall back because the VK31OP will certainly try to aim towards our position. Okay, perfect. So see how it goes. Here you go. Nice. And if you fully aim in, once again, you should always strive to fully aim in. And now applying game mechanics. Now I know that he has about, let's say 2-3 seconds that he needs in order to aim in. And if I evade, if I fall back into cover prior to him taking a shot, then he will not be able to hit me, and so I can preserve my HP. That's exactly what I want to do in this situation. Now, looks like we have once again an unfavorable situation, and so we now should try to maintain in a position which is advantageous for us. And so basically I'm feeling quite happy in this position because I can outspot this tank and I can make sure that our artillery can take him under fire. And so this is what I want to do in this situation. So far there are too many enemy tanks, so we cannot build up full situational awareness on where the opposing forces are situated on the map. But that's so far not a problem. We just need to continue to spot the enemy forces which are advancing on the 0 lane. So let's see how it goes. And see how it goes. Okay. Looks like the VK3001P actually reversed and has fallen back, which is quite a good move if you ask me. Now our Japanese tier 6 heavy tanks are leaving the scenery, which brings myself in actually a bad situation. But so far so good. So let's see how it goes in this situation. Okay, our Jumbo Sherman, the M4A3E2, is playing super aggressively. Now I can also not push onto the hill right here. I think, yeah, once again, this can only be done in a wheeled light tank. So you know what? I think it is time to bring myself into an advantageous position, and that is clearly the middle. Okay, there's an adversary medium tank, but you know what? I have enough HP that I can trade, and so let's try to evade. Okay, yeah, nice. I evade this shot, and so now I am in a very good position because from the middle I can shoot not only to the enemy base but also to the other side once the VK3001P tries to re-enter our base. Okay, so let's take a shot onto the Hellcat. Here you go. Okay, he's you saw him aiming towards my position, and so I only wanted to take one shot in order to not lose any more HP. And so let's see. So unfortunately, the enemy forces know that I am in the middle. I cannot go down here, which is bad. Okay, now yeah, they are already pushing me. So now I have to leave the scenery, taking one shot onto the. Okay, fortunately he misses his shot. He is stunned, but he has repaired his tank. And so, okay, he gets one shot, but I can fortunately leave the scenery. Once again, a very lucky situation. In the first game we were unlucky, but in this situation here, we are pretty lucky that we could leave the scenery, which is nice. And now we want to reload our clip. And now actually the time has come where we have full situational awareness. All enemy forces have moved towards the middle, and only the artillery is most likely still at the enemy base. So that is the situation in which we have full situational awareness. Now he's taken out, excellent. Now the other tank is pushing me, which is not a problem at all. He has just taken a shot, so I can now, okay, I need 2 shots, but I want to take him out. Unfortunately, he can make another shot onto my tanks, so I'm now down to being one-shottable, which is not too good. That's how it is, but we could take out 2 adversary tanks, or our team could take out 2 adversary tanks, which is nice. And now we are in a basically 3 versus 2 situation, if you exclude the artilleries. So okay, I'm proxy spotting this tank, which is not too bad, but I want to fall back into cover because I'm afraid the one of the adversary tanks is pushing me. And you know what? I think I do not want to brawl alongside with the tier 6 Japanese tank. What I want to do is I want to use my mobility and I want to flank the adversaries. This actually brings me to tip number 9. So I'm now developing a game plan on how I can kill one tank one after another so that I can carry the game. And I want to do this by flanking the adversary tanks. So I want to basically now take out the Type 58, catch him by surprise, which was actually tip number 9, to prize the opponents. And then, or you know what? I think I will try to go to the adversary base and take out, yeah, okay, so the Type 58 is taken out. So now I want to go to the enemy base. And even if the T-34 85M manages to take out the OI, then I can enter a 1v1 situation, hopefully with artillery support, and I will negate the artillery support of the adversary team. So this is my game plan now, how I want to approach the end of the game. So I simply want to hurry up and take out the enemy artillery, and then thereafter I will enter the 1v1 situation, because what I do not want to do is I want to avoid a situation in which I am basically stuck, let's say in a proxy spotting distance, stuck behind a house, playing against the T-34 85M, and so a situation in which the enemy artillery can take me out and can win the game. So now the artillery is taken out, and now it's a 2v1 situation actually. So now we can take out the remaining tank. It is a one-shot, just like I am. And so let's see how it goes. I want to fall back into cover because the chances are that he's pushing me out. So let's see how it goes. Most likely the Berserker will simply rush towards him because he has enough HP to do so. So let's see how it goes. And yeah, he's taken out. So yeah, once again, I think a pretty decent game, which actually showed what you should do so that you bring yourself into a position that you can carry the game. I think if you apply my 10 or to be honest my 9 tips, then you will have you will know what you need to do in order to bring yourself into such situations, and how to act in those situations, and how to react to the adversary team. Alright guys, that was it for today with a little tutorial on how to carry games. Did you like this video? what is your overall win rate? Have you been able to carry games so far in World of Tanks? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.